Dagan, the administration is just one big Gretchen.
Indeed. You can't make Joe Biden cool again because he was never cool. And by the way, putting this addled octogenarian in sunglasses, people look at him and go, oh, you're trying to cover up the fact he's sleeping. That's all that they're thinking about at this point. And they're spending money. They're spending like tens of millions of dollars on online marketing to try and make this fetch happen. We'll get to the fetch, the dog, later. But I think that this is throwing bad money after bad.
Right, and instead of throwing bad money after bad, why don't they just work on policies that actually work?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they are right, though, with that clip of video where there's no rules. I mean, yeah, is that why there's Coke in the White House, too?
Well, and they can't find who put it there either. Remember? Yeah, the big mystery there. I do like that there was like an article about this as well. They were saying, hey, Biden needs to embrace his age and think about guys like Harrison Ford. I'm like, well, Harrison Ford can walk off a plane and off a stage. So you can't really compare the two. They're like George Clooney. I'm like, don't even put those two people in the same conversation. But they're desperate because they're like, how do we rebrand an old guy that makes up words and he does a speech and, and then he's like, yeah. I don't know what I'm saying. I also don't think he knows what Mean Girls is anyway, which I wish a reporter would have been like, hey, Mr. President, what do you think about Mean Girls, the movie, and your comparison? That would have been way cooler of a shot than anything else that happened, because
you would have been like, don't ask me about Kamala.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't ask me about her. Exactly. I just think this shows desperation. They've got a bad candidate. I don't want to beat up on him too much because I really want him to be the candidate. I don't want him to be replaced by Gavin Newsom or anyone else, or them parachute Michelle Obama in at the convention. So I'm happy to watch them try to pull this off. It's pretty funny.
You know, Harris, levity is fine, of course. It's always fine, sure. But the reality is Americans, most of them are suffering deeply. And 8 out of 10 are dipping into their savings to pay for school supplies. So it would be nice to have out of the White House a little bit of lack of tone deafness, and maybe something like, on #MeanGirls Day, we want to talk to you about the anti-bullying efforts that we've participated in.
There you go.
The dedication we have to mental health in school. Like, tell us what you've accomplished. Don't tell us what your 23-year-old intern's brainiac idea showed.
By the way, the movie was made the year that 23-year-old intern was born, 2004. So that's probably where they're spending some of those millions, trying to tell a new audience about who all these things are, making reference to, and oh, by the way, that's why he looks cool. That probably does take $1 million. You know, they call Robert F. Kennedy Jr. the one who's outside the norms. How is this normal? Yeah. Go to RFK Jr.'s Twitter feed right now, and you'll see him talking about issues. You'll see him talking about people who now are about to find out what their mortgages are going to be like if they even try to buy a dream home after working so many years and saving. Who's talking about the stuff that matters, and who's trying to be cool with a movie that was made 19 years ago? Anybody?
Such a great point. I mean, Fox Business covered this earlier today. 99% of home ownership is inaccessible to Americans right now. Those are the real issues, not an old movie.
Yeah, and I did see, to your point, RFK speaking to those issues. Joe Biden should too. But look, I would say trying to make Joe Biden into a young buck is like trying to make Hillary Clinton into Miss Congeniality. Like, there are certain inescapable traits. Biden is old. You can have as many TikTok influencers as you want. You're not going to convince the public. You can have Hillary Clinton have a, half smile? I know there's a bad word in my mind. half effort to throw back a beer or a shot, and it's not going to make her likable.
Oh, I know what words
So, I mean, it's not that bad of a word. It starts with an A.
It took me a minute, though.
The bottom line, Hillary, not likable. Biden, old.
That's right.
Bobby Kennedy talking issues. Biden in his basement with his sunglasses on. And figure that, inside the house with the glasses on.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.